Very good morning, dear students. Today, let us proceed with the next part of the lesson in ecosystem. We are going to study today types of ecosystem. So let's begin with the types of ecosystem. Okay. Now, if you see, most of the ecosystems are complex in nature, and there is tremendous qualitative as well as quantitative variety of species in them. In ecosystems, in tropical ecosystems like in India, okay, few species of living organisms are found everywhere in large number, whereas remaining species of plants and animals are found in small number. Okay, like for example, camel is found in less number, whereas monkey, what you have seen, they are found everywhere in large number. Okay, and very few, some species are very few in number. Variety of ecosystems are found on the earth, okay, and each place has a different ecosystem, like for example, forest ecosystem, then pond ecosystem, ocean ecosystem, and river ecosystem, etc. Types of ecosystems are formed according to size, place, climate, types of plants and animals. So, depending upon the size of the place or climatic conditions of the place, types of the plants there and animal, contribute to a type of ecosystem. So, all these factors, decide what type of ecosystem will be there. Is that clear, students? Now, let us proceed further. Many types of ecosystems are found in the biosphere. So, their specific functions continue according to the environment. Though these ecosystems look independent and different, they are linked to each other directly or indirectly. Like for example, here there are two different types of ecosystems shown, but though they are looking completely different from each other or completely independent of each other, but still somewhere or the other, each one of these components of the ecosystems are linked to each other. Okay, so directly or maybe indirectly, therefore we cannot separate these small ecosystems from each other, but can classify them according to their functions. Okay, so we are going to classify them according to the functions they perform. So we cannot separate any of these ecosystems because most of them are dependent on each other. Then, in some regions on Earth, okay, a large area has some same climate and abiotic factors. So the living organisms in wherever it is, similar, same climate and abiotic factors, even the organisms living in those areas are also similar. So, a specific ecosystem will be developing in a vast area, and such large ecosystems are also called as biomes. Okay, so large ecosystems wherein the abiotic factors as well as the climate is same, and even the animals present over there are similar, then we can call such type of ecosystems as biomes, and biomes are very large in size. Okay, so these biomes contain many small ecosystem. So earth itself is one of the earth itself is can be called as one biome. Okay, and therefore we can divide earth as a biome into two categories. Okay, two types of biomes. One is the land biome and second is the aquatic biome. Now let us try to learn about first about the land biomes. So first we will study about the land biomes. So what are called as land biomes? Okay. So the biomes which are existing only on the land are called as land biomes. Okay, I'll repeat, the biomes which exist only on land are called as land biomes. Okay, So here, due to unequal distribution of the abiotic factors, now you have learned about the several abiotic factors in the previous video, right? So abiotic factors will not be same in all the places. They will be different according to the different ecosystem. Okay, so due to unequal distribution of abiotic factors, different types of ecosystem you are finding. Okay, for example, the first picture you can see is a type of grassland ecosystem. Okay, so it is a grassland ecosystem wherein you will find animals like lion, okay, deer, okay, evergreen forest wherein the entire year you will find greenery around. Then you can have deserts, okay, wherein less rainfall will be there and less number of plants and animals will be there. Then Iceland ecosystem also is wherein you will find very less number of plants and animals. Ecosystem in the taiga region, okay, also you will find a variety of animals and plants here in this case. Even tropical rainforest also you will find a variety of plant and animals. Okay, so these are different types of the land biomes. So let us study first, that is some of them, and out of which we are going to study grassland ecosystem, okay, and forest ecosystem. So let's begin with the first one, that is grassland ecosystem. So grasslands develop where rainfall is not enough to grow big trees. So therefore, since the rainfall is less here in these regions, you will find that the big trees are not grown. So you will find only grasses. Okay, and because then here you will find that the summers are longer and rain is also limited, which develop only dwarf plants in these areas. Dwarf means a shorter heighted plants like grass or maybe shrubs, and vast growth of grass is found in the grassland ecosystems. So what type of plants are produced here or found here is the grasses like Parthenium is one of the grass. Cynodon is also called as Cynodon dactylon is also called as Durva. Okay, then you can get other types like Kusali, Lolium, okay, and Andropogon as the types of grasses which will be found in the grassland ecosystem, and they are the producers of the grassland ecosystem. Whereas the type of primary consumers such as cow, deer, rabbit, because all these are herbivorous animals and they will be mostly grazing on the grassland, giraffe, okay, and insects like leptocoryza and grasshopper will be found here, and they are called as the primary consumers of the grassland ecosystem. Whereas the secondary consumers of grassland ecosystem will be a snake, bird, jackal, wolf, okay, badger, and even black-footed ferret. These are the secondary consumers of the grassland ecosystem. Whereas there has to be even tertiary consumers. So tertiary consumers like lion, hyena, vulture, kite, okay, then tiger and owl are the tertiary consumers of the grassland ecosystem. Whereas last one is the decomposers. So what type of decomposers you will find here? Now fungi like Fusarium and Aspergillus, Agaricus, and bacteria like Bacillus subtilis. All these names you may not remember, but these are the decomposers of the grassland ecosystem because they feed on the dead remains of the plants and animals and convert the organic content into inorganic substances, which will be recycled as the nutrient, okay, in the grassland ecosystem. Fine. So now you have learned about the type the grassland ecosystem. What is a grassland ecosystem? How it develops? Due to what reasons? What are the causes of the grassland ecosystem? And which are the producers? Primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, decomposers. Right? So you have learned somewhat in brief. Right, now let us learn about what are the possible threats to the grassland ecosystem. What can be the threats to the grassland ecosystem? Okay, now Continued global warming is a natural threat to grasslands, which could turn current marginal grasslands into deserts due to change in the rainfall pattern. Okay, now you know nowadays that global warming is too much. That means that there is a lot of rise in the temperature, right, which is due to global warming. And global warming is caused due to air pollution, right? So it is the first natural threat to the ecosystem which can convert these grasslands into the deserts due to, and even rainfall pattern will be also changing, and it may lead to the formation of the desert area. So this is the first threat to the grassland ecosystem. Then even second one is development of the urban areas, constructions of the big dams and power plants, use of grasslands for farming are some man-made threats to the grassland. Okay, so you can see how urbanization has taken place, and because of which there is a threat to the grassland ecosystem. Now let us try to answer another question, that is, why did Asian cheetah become extinct in last century? Okay, so we had cheetah and now it is extinct. It is also called as Asiatic cheetah or Asian cheetah, which is now extinct. In last century only it got extinct. So what are the possible reasons for the extinction of this cheetah? Let us learn. Asiatic cheetah was quite common in Israel, Arabian Peninsula, Iran, Afghanistan, and in India also. Okay, now due to continuous hunting, now in case of India, the Asiatic cheetah, also known as the hunting leopard, in India was kept by kings and princes to assist in royal hunts. So, because of this, this was one of the major causes of that species a rapid decline in India, as they never bred in captivity because they were separated, and since they were separated they could not breed, and since they could not breed in captivity, they automatically their number decline. Okay, so this is another reason. Okay, this is a major cause. Second cause is excessive hunting of this animal for its skin and other purposes led to further decline. Okay, so many people have this habit of buying the skin okay, of the cheetah or other animals, and because of their hobbies, fantasy like hobby. Okay, so the animals are getting killed. Okay, so this was another reason, hunting for the skin. Next, in 1948, with the death of the last Asiatic cheetah, the species were declared extinct in 1948 in India. Okay, so the last cheetah was died in 1948. So this is regarding the grassland ecosystem. Now let's proceed further with the next ecosystem, that is forest ecosystem. Okay, so how is it forest ecosystem different from grassland ecosystem? Okay, if you see, forest ecosystem is a natural ecosystem where a variety of plants and animals as well as abiotic factors are found as compared to that of grassland ecosystem. Here you will find big trees and large number of animals too. Now, what type of plants are found here? Large trees like dipterocarpus, teak, pine, sandalwood, oak, and maple tree. These are the are the producers of the forest ecosystem. So let's learn about which are the primary consumers here. So primary consumers of the forest ecosystem are ant, grasshopper, spider, butterfly, squirrel, and monkey are all primary consumers of forest ecosystem. Whereas the secondary consumers who depend upon primary consumers are snake, bird, lizard, jackal, bear, and owl are the secondary consumers who feed on primary consumers. Whereas the tertiary consumers are like tiger, falcon, cheetah, vulture. Okay, these are the tertiary consumers of the forest ecosystem, right? Last ones are the decomposers, which feed on the dead remains of the plants and animals. So fungi like aspergillus, polycarpus, okay, mucor are the fungi, whereas the bacteria like pseudomonas fluorescens is the bacteria which causes decomposition of the dead remains of the plants and animals of the forest ecosystem and recycle the nutrients back to the forest ecosystem. Right. So uh, this is regarding the forest ecosystem, wherein you have now learned about which are the producers, primary consumers, secondary consumers, tertiary consumers, and the decomposers. Now, let's proceed further. That is, do you know? Okay. So, let's find out something more. About 150 years ago, this is a Dudhwa forest region was a habitat for single horned rhino. Okay, so you can see here. But in the 20th century, this animal became extinct due to unrelenting hunting. Okay, it became extinct in the Dudhwa forest. But on 1st of April 1984, single horned rhino were again restored in the Dudhwa forest. Okay, and they were bred in captivity and then released in their natural habitat. Okay, so for this, around 27 square kilometer grassland and forest where round the year water resources were available was selected so that they can peacefully bred in captivity there. So, two observatories were also established, and these efforts were successful. And now you can see that there are many species of the rhino, one horned or single horned rhino in Dudhwa forest again. Okay, so let's proceed further with the next part of the lesson. Again, the country, in our country like India, you will find that the forest ecosystem is in many places, and many of the animals are, many of the national parks are selected for certain animals for their protection, because these are found to be rare and endangered species. So different places in India are selected and conserved uh, for conserving the different types of animal species. Okay, so let's see which are the places wherein, or which are the national parks or sanctuaries, okay, wildlife sanctuaries, wherein certain animals which are rare and endangered are getting protection. Okay, so the first one here you can see is Gir National Park in Gujarat, wherein you will find that the lions are protected. Then the Chingam National Park is in Jammu and Kashmir. Then we have Rajasthan Ranthambore National Park for the tigers. Then next one is in Maharashtra, that is Dajipur Wildlife Sanctuary for the bison. Then we have Assam, we have Kaziranga National Park for the single horned rhino again. Okay, then we have Sundarbans National Park for the tigers in West Bengal. Fine. Then in Maharashtra again we have Melghat Tiger Reserve. Okay, so and in Periyar National Park, in case of Kerala, again protects the tigers. Do you know the Great Himalayan National Park, which is located in the Kullu region in the state of Himachal Pradesh, is the largest sanctuary where white panther, which is a rare species, is conserved. So remember this, students, Kullu region in Himachal Pradesh. Okay, and Kaziranga National Park has animals like elephants, wild boars, then wild buffaloes, then deers, tigers, panthers are all conserved at Kaziranga National Park. So around two-thirds of the total number of single horned rhinos in the world is found at Kaziranga. Okay, so you can see single horn, around two-thirds of the population of the whole one horned rhino. Okay, then the sanctuary at Bharatpur in Rajasthan is famous for aquatic birds. Ranthambore Sanctuary, wildlife sanctuary, again in Rajasthan, is famous for tigers. Then Great Forest in Gujarat is the only habitat or shelter for the spectacular Asiatic lion. Okay, so this is regarding the forest ecosystem. Okay, so now that we have learnt about the land biomes, let us proceed further with the next type of ecosystem, that is aquatic biomes or the aquatic ecosystems. Okay, so all of us know that around 71% of the earth's surface is covered with the water, right? And only 29% of the earth's surface is land. Therefore, it becomes necessary for us to learn or to study about the aquatic biomes. So it is an important task. So according to area, then aquatic biomes are widespread, and different types of aquatic ecosystems are there. So the types of ecosystems are freshwater ecosystem and marine ecosystem. So let's first learn about the freshwater ecosystem. So what type of consumers, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary and decomposers are there in the freshwater ecosystem. Okay, so freshwater ecosystem includes mostly the ponds, lakes and the rivers. Okay, so all these are included. You can see the river, the pond and the lake ecosystem. So the transition of the energy in these ecosystem is through the water currents, okay, and river. And what type of plants are found here in the freshwater ecosystem? Let's try to learn. Okay, so producers such as aquatic plants like eulothrix, then okay, hydrilla, then we have azolla, then nitella, typha, then we have pistia. You might have seen this plant, common one, Econia, Spirogyra is the algae, and lotus are all the producers of the freshwater ecosystem. Whereas these are eaten by the aquatic insects, snails, annelids, okay, tadpoles, and copepods are all primary consumers of the freshwater ecosystem. Whereas the secondary consumers like the small fishes like gambusia and guppy and frogs are the secondary consumers of the freshwater ecosystem. Okay, and these are eaten by the secondary consumers like rohu, katla, and herons, crocodiles, turtles, and the water snakes. These are all tertiary consumers of the freshwater ecosystem. Whereas the decomposers here which are found are mostly the bacteria and fungi. Okay, so bacteria like the cladosporium and saprolegnia are found at the bottom of the water reservoirs. Okay, and these decompose the dead remains of the aquatic plants and animals and convert them into abiotic factors, that is nothing but the. Now we have learnt about the freshwater ecosystem. So but freshwater system like the local ecosystems like river, ponds and lakes, are they safe? Okay, are they safe? These are very rich in biodiversity, and so rivers, ponds and lakes are precious sources of fresh water. Okay, but are they safe? No, my dear students, they are not safe, because because maybe because of the human intervention, or due to too much of pollution in the water. The freshwater ecosystem gets disturbed, and this may cause harm to the freshwater ecosystem. Let's proceed now with the next part of the lesson, that is marine ecosystem. So in marine ecosystem, the producers like the algae such as brown algae and green algae are producing the food for the primary consumers such as small fishes and prawns, which can be called as the primary consumers of the marine ecosystem. So the central part of the sea has less number of aquatic living organisms, whereas the secondary consumers like tuna and mackerel are found in the ocean marine ecosystem. So the plants as well as animal are either found on the surface or towards the surface and at the depth of the sea, but in between, in the central part of the water, you will find less number of plants and animals, right? So we have seen now what are the type of producers. Mostly algae are the producers, okay? And primary consumers also we have seen like small fishes, okay? Secondary consumers are like tuna and mackerel. So whereas the larger fishes like the sharks, okay, and beluga, these are the tertiary consumers of the ocean ecosystem or the marine ecosystem. Whereas the decomposers are mostly the bacteria which are found at the bottom of the sea, okay, which convert the dead remains of the aquatic plants and animals into the abiotic factors, and therefore we can say that ocean has a large amount of nutrients. Now think about it, okay? So Divija visited the hill here, okay, and honeybees were hovering on the flowers where she visited. So one of them stung Divija's hand. Oh, Divija was hurt due to that sting, and she said with anger that all the honeybees from the world must get destroyed. Afterwards, she thought, what will happen if all the honeybees are destroyed? Okay, so according to her, she said that we won't get honey and nothing more than this. But do you think so? Honeybees are only meant for giving us honey? No, my dear students, honeybees not only gives us honey, okay, but also they are very good pollinators. Pollinators means nothing but they transfer the pollen from one flower to another, and therefore, okay, too many different types of plants and plants we get because of the honeys, okay? So they can be called as the guardians of the ecosystem, okay, because they transfer pollen grains and variety of flowers we can get, and because of which variety of fruits and seeds we can get. So since they not only give us the honey, but they are also very good pollinators. Okay students, so this is regarding the types of ecosystem. We have learnt about the aquatic ecosystem here now, and the land biome. So we will continue with the next part of the lesson in the next video, that is diminishment of the ecosystem due to human interference. So till then what you have to do is that you have to try to find out the answers to the questions from the textbook. Also you try to read the whole lesson, whatever we have learnt up to now. Write short notes about the forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem, and in that fresh water and the marine water ecosystem. So thank you dear students.